What's up, y'all? It's Jeff Cobb, and you're listening to Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on Social Suplex Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Listener discretion is advised at all times.
Hello, and thank you once again for downloading and listening to another episode of the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. My name is Clive, and I'm joined by someone who has said to me just off air that this is the best part of his whole week. Ricky. Hello, Ricky. How are you, friend?
Good evening. Doing well. Not sure how much of that was true, but...
Yeah, the friend part, that was a lie. I've got a couple of surprises for you this week.
Yep.
Right, first of all, the quiz, in keeping with the spirits of last week where you quizzed me on something I'm relatively experienced and knowledgeable about.
Oh no.
I've got a wee Marvel / DC quiz for
I
you.
knew that's what you were going to ask me. Bugger.
Yep. Well, you've been watching it.
I know, but I couldn't tell you who the hell's Marvel and who's DC.
Oh, imagine that was what the quiz was, and you had to say which was which. That would have been a better idea.
Captain America, Iron Man, Thor are all Marvel.
You only know that because you've probably got Disney.
No, I watched Avengers a couple of weeks ago because my boys wanted to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It was Avengers Endgame or whatever the hell it was.
Well, I'm rewatching them. Don't tell me for the case of spoilers, you know.
This is how little knowledge I have. That they killed Thor like in the opening scene, and I text all of you saying, "For fuck's sake, Thor was just in his house making tea, and then he came in and just killed him, completely uncalled for."
You mean Thanos?
Thanos, yes, sorry, Thor. Thanos, yep. And then, obviously, I knew Thanos was a bad guy, but it just kind of seemed uncalled for.
I thought it seemed like that is the equivalent of... I hated that. I hated that with a passion because Thanos was basically Brock Lesnar in the other film.
Right.
And then he comes in and gets squashed by the Spirit Squad in about 2 minutes.
I mean, it's Chris Hemsworth.
Aye, but he dealt with Chris Hemsworth and a billion other people in the other film.
I know, but they caught him off guard. Just like Goldberg caught Brock Lesnar off guard the Survivor Series a few years ago.
The greatest booking in WWE history. So the other surprise, I'll play.
I gave you like a perfect segue. You could have gone, well, speaking of Survivor Series.
No, I want to put myself over first.
Alright, okay.
Remember a few nights ago I was partially inebriated?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I recorded some audio.
So I've still got the audio from that night as well.
Did I send that to you?
You sent me about 5 or 6 voice notes now, but the last one was extremely aggressive.
Oh no, this is actually like takes on NXT last week.
Alright, okay.
So I'll play them intermittently. There's just 2 of them, and I'll play them. I only remembered about 5 minutes before we started tonight, so it's fresh for my ears as well as yours.
Right. In one of the voice notes, the last voice message you sent, you started off saying "here," and it was just extremely aggressive. And if anyone doesn't know, like the vast majority of Scottish people start a conversation with someone saying "here."
You're for it.
Like, for no reason whatsoever. It makes no sense, but we do it.
Speaking of aggressive Scottish people, Have you heard the latest from our friends at ICW?
I saw the tweet. I'm going to pull it up. Was it basically something saying like, "Look who's back" or something?
It's kind of very newsworthy, actually, when you think about it.
Right. Is it that tweet you're talking about?
It's
Right.
brand new episodes of their Fight Club TV show on the network.
I didn't even see that part. I saw it on our feed, our Twitter feed, and I think it was Freddie Russell that tweeted out saying something like "fuck you" or something, something along those lines. Like, and then obviously I liked that tweet because fuck ICW.
So not only have they doubled down by having Wolfgang, Joe Coffey, and Jordan Devlin and Velveteen Dream still on our screens, they're just bringing in ICW new content as well.
If you're a piece of shit, you can go on the network, guys.
I know a few people that would probably get on the network quite well. Yeah.
Oh God, are we going to? I think we addressed all that shit last week.
I know. Survivor Series. I've not seen the Undertaker stuff because I was on the way to work and it stopped. I had to go into the office just as the Champ v Champ match had finished, so I haven't seen any of the Undertaker stuff. So what was it like?
Kind of pointless. Like, they brought in, like, it seemed like about a good dozen or so legends. Kane being the only one that was in his wrestling gear for some reason. Anyway, but it's not like they waited around for his speech or anything. Like, they brought them in, they all stood in the ring, they showed a highlight package of Taker, and then they were all gone, and Vince was in the ring. And I can't even remember if Vince was still in the ring when Taker arrived. And then Taker comes out and just cuts a usual kind of promo and basically says it's time for Undertaker to rest in peace, and then left. I think that's him. Like, I feel like that was, I know the hat and gloves at WrestleMania felt pretty symbolic and emphatic, but I think now that he actually says it, I think that's him done. I understand, like, the romance of it, doing it at Survivor Series type kind of thing. So I didn't really have a problem with that as such. But a lot of it just seemed kind of like pointless and unnecessary. Like, I was actually kind of hoping he would have got involved in the 5-on-5 men's match. I'm not saying I wanted to see him wrestle or anything, but obviously he would have wrestled, but I'm not saying I was advocating for such a thing. I just felt like that could have been kind of cool just to see, because he's obviously been associated with SmackDown all these years. Even if he just came down and just kind of distracted someone, or, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, they went with a different direction in that match. But like I say, the Taker thing, I get why they've done it, but it was like, I wouldn't go out your way to watch it.
I thought they would have done stuff spliced throughout the pay-per-view instead of just.
No, I thought he would have either opened it or definitely probably closed it. I guess the thing was, like, it followed the Roman and Drew match, and it was like, well, the pay-per-view could have ended there, on that note. But I do get why Taker closed it, because, like I say, that's when he 30 years ago kind of thing debuted at Survivor Series. So I don't really have an issue with it that much, because it's like massive Taker mark, So yeah, but I think that'll be him now.
Well, you'd said there that you thought he would have come down on SmackDown's behalf. They could have used him.
They could have. And I know Rance and the Outside of the Edge this week are probably going to... He certainly didn't have an issue with it because, like you said, it tied in with everything they were saying. Like, SmackDown were never on the same page. Some of the guys didn't even want to be there. And, like, for weeks now, AJ was kind of trying to be the guy to bring Team Raw together. And I know what he said in the group chat was, well, they just lost a Retribution. Maybe that was kind of like the wake-up call we needed to come together. But I think if you look at the way Retribution have been booked these last sort of like 4, 5, 6 weeks, and it's like, that's kind of an indictment on them, like how badly they've kind of botched Retribution, but they still beat Team Raw. I liked Seth Rollins not even looking at Matt Riddle, closing his eyes, and I get the whole thing, him getting on his knees and kind of like the Messiah gimmick and like sacrificing for the greater good and all that. I get it, what he was trying to achieve, but that match didn't really do much for me, if I'm honest.
Same here. There was nothing wrong with the actual wrestling. You do get things like that happening where you've got an easy pin. Something happens, like when Shamu broke kicked Big Seth, and that's him. He was probably written off for a while now, going be a father. Mm-hmm. So that's fine, but the clean sweep, it's just...
Sorry to cut you off. Can we stop, please, calling saying Becky Lynch is now going to become the mom? Like, that is cringy as hell. I know you're talking about Seth going away, but see the amount of people I see saying that, it's like, that's just fucking cringe. Stop it.
I wasn't aware of this. I would probably call her...
People keep saying it all the time.
I would call her the MILF, but no, the mom.
Mom. We don't say mom. We say ma.
The ma. The clean sweep just didn't do anything for me. Like, I can see it from the side of things where Jey Uso was left to his own, and even though he put on a very valiant effort in taking on the remaining 5 guys, and it was Roman thought it was him that was a failure. It's like, right, okay, I get it, but they could have still made Jey Uso fight valiantly but lose in the end, and it was him that took the last pinfall, and Roman would have been pissed off, and they were kind of setting it up for Jey to help later on in the Drew McIntyre match. But it's just, there was just this sort of absence of emotion watching it. I was like, right, I can see what's going on here.
I think the problem with Survivor Series is it's just that there's never anything like on the line. Like, I know people talk about brand supremacy, but what the fuck does that even mean? Like, I would like... So, it doesn't need to be... It could just be something, it could be anything like kind of minor, or even if it's something you don't like, but just put something on the line, you know, like, I don't know, the overall winner of the night gets to take or pick a wrestler or whatever from the other brand, or just whatever, just any kind of stipulation for the brand that actually wins, other than just saying, yay, we got Pride, you know, like, I don't really mean anything, and it ties in with the Battle Royal as well. Like, what was the point? And I get Miz winning it and Money in the Bank, I get all that, but I just mean, like, there's nothing at stake, so why should we care?
With the likes of Matt Riddle and AJ Styles actually only been on SmackDown a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the brand loyalty? So I mean, I don't mind the matches. Like, I enjoy SmackDown Survivor Series matches, and I don't mind the brand supremacy thing, especially when they've got these big invasions that go on. But just you're right. I think there could be some sort of other stipulation, but I'm quite happy with it as it is, personally. He's disappeared.
Sorry, I was reading something. You're quite happy with what, sorry?
I'm quite happy with the brand supremacy thing. I'm not that overly invested in Survivor Series. I think it's just quite fun to watch, and that'll do me.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. As long as the matches are good, like, I can go over it, but when the matches aren't, you just kind of harken back to be like, why the hell am I watching this?
Well,
when you have no real vested emotion in it.
But see, when you say that, this is where that match sort of fell flat for me, because on paper, Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley was like, right, so. We've seen it before, it was rubbish. Or the feud was rubbish and it was pretty distasteful as well. And when you think about it, you probably think Bobby Lashley's going to squash Sami Zayn. But I was sports entertained to the max for that match. Sami Zayn trying to flick Shelton's ear, Cedric Alexander's ear.
And
just
then tripping over MVP.
Aye, just all that stuff.
I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, like, that match could have been so much more. You know, like, we didn't need to sit through all those legends coming out where you could have maybe given this match an extra 5 minutes, or you could have cut the women's match, which may have went a few minutes too long. So, like, this match could have been more, because, like, even in the last couple of weeks in the build up to it, mainly through the stuff on Twitter, like, I was kind of like, I'm actually looking forward to this match. It could be a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think just the way they went back and forth on Twitter was kind of entertaining. But then it also kind of fell flat. Like, I think I would say it was a real mixed bag for me, the overall show. There was a couple of, like, high points, one major high point, but there's a couple of matches you're just like, could have been more.
I'd said to you that I thought the women's 5v5 was amazing.
Yep.
And you seemed surprised by that.
I was.
Right, elaborate.
I'll let you say first why you enjoyed it so much.
It was one of those ones that was just plodding along. There wasn't any massive turns in the story. They were just having a right good wrestle. They were all getting a chance to shine. Peyton Royce hit that lovely finisher. If anything, this match actually made me miss watching the main roster, because I got to see Shayna Baszler blast some volleys into women's chests. Peyton Royce got a time to shine as well. I've said that. Bianca Belair got some time to shine. They all looked strong. They all got their shit in. The thing with Lana, I kind of saw that happening before the thing finished anyway. I thought she would end up winning in some form or another. The way that Ruby Riott lost was very good. That Shayna Baszler had her in the Coquina clutch, and Ruby Riott turned it over for what ended up being a 5 count. Referee didn't see it. Ruby Riott had those 2 extra seconds to go unconscious. Stuff like that. Who was it that Bianca Belair? Shayna Baszler was so incensed in getting the submission into Bianca Belair that she went over the 5 count when Bianca Belair was in the ropes, and then the stuff with Bianca Belair and Nia Jax at the end. I just thought the last 5 minutes were just... It's one of those ones, it's typical WWE, but it was typical WWE done to its best. Organised Chaos, tick that one off the list. Again this year, and throughout many years, you've got these multi-women tag matches where Rancid actually said this to me a few weeks ago, where it's possible that nobody backstage really cares much about what the women do, so they just go out and do their best and go over and above. And I just felt that's what I got. I thought it was booked very well, put a smile on my face at the end of it. Still don't know what happened to Lana's lipstick. It was smudged to smithereens, but there we go. Best Survivor Series match I have seen since the 2016 Men's one. High praise.
I can't argue much about the last sort of like 5 minutes, but my issues with the match were seeing Shayna again just reminds me time and time again how badly booked she's been since she came up in the main roster. She was amazing in NXT, and now she's in a tag team with Nia Jax. We move on to Nia Jax. When Nia Jax in the ring with some of the people she was in the ring with on Sunday, it is night and day in terms of talent and ability. That Simone drop she put on Liv Morgan, I thought she killed Liv Morgan.
See that sort of hurricanrana that Liv Morgan did to Nia Jax when Nia Jax was on her knees? Oh, tornado DDT or something. That was delicious.
Peyton Royce is now maybe going to start being a tag team with my God, what's her name? Blonde. What's her name?
Lacey Evans.
Lacey.
She's going to be in another tag team. Are you kidding me?
That's what it seems like. I don't. Maybe I'm misreading it wrong. Maybe I'm just getting it wrong. But I don't know. It seemed like that, like based on some of the stuff I've seen. But like I say, I could just be getting it wrong and just it completely. I don't get me wrong. Like, I love Bianca Belair. That's another one who, just for me, that should be doing so much more right now than what they have done with her. Yeah. But the big thing is, right, I get, what is it, the last like 2 months, Lana's been going through a table every single Monday.
Uh-huh.
And obviously, even at this show, like, Nia and Shayna were like, get the hell back. You're not getting involved. And she just stood on the steps the entire match, didn't do anything. Ties in with the fact that they are bullying her, in a sense, and not letting her do and get involved, right? So I get that. Like, that was a nice moment for her, that she was a sole survivor without actually doing anything. But, and then you even saw, like, Nia's face at the end, like, even though her team won, she was, proper peed off that it was Lana that got the win for them, effectively. But they also released, like, a documentary, did they not, on the network? Mm-hmm. And Lana talking about how she's been bullied and cyberbullied and everything. It's like, where's the thinking? Like, you're bringing it out, and we feel bad for her because you don't want anyone going through that. But you're having a storyline where she's been bullied. Like, are you just blind to these kind of things? Do you just not care? Or do you not put it together and realise that that's what you're doing?
They probably do. They just like to book things sometimes too on the nose. For instance, Jeff Hardy's alcohol abuse issues this year. They like to go right, cut to the deep bone of it. I'm not justifying it. It's just that's probably what they like to do with shit like that.
It's not. I don't like it. I don't like that at all. Maybe they should cut that out. Or if Vince wants to continue doing it, I don't know, maybe book something along the lines with, I don't know, maybe like a professional wrestler having inappropriate relations with an underage woman. Like your daughter and Randy Savage. Then again, I don't know if she was underage at the time. Oh wait, they actually do that with Buddy Murphy and Rey Mysterio's daughter. I forgot.
Buddy Mysterio?
Yep. No, I don't really have an issue with the last 5 minutes of the match. There's just certain bits of it I just like. I like that.
That's fair enough.
Bayley going out first was kind of like, it should bother you, but it was kind of funny now. And then you saw some of the interactions she's had on Twitter, like she was supposed to be the captain, she was mouthing off, etc., and she's the one who was out first.
She's been strong for over a year. She can.
No, definitely. Like, I saw someone tweeting saying how badly Bayley's been booked, and you're like, you kidding me?
For God's sake!
For like 18 straight months, like her and Sasha have been sensational. Like, the 2020, it's just been all about them two.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just like I said, just one or two wee things from the match that I really didn't like.
That's fair enough. Well, while we're on the subject of women's tag teams, are you ready to hear one of my recordings?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a wee minute and I'll put it up. Now, this is... I can remember sitting there talking about it, but here we go. Me again. You are blessed with more solo audio, some Clive streams of consciousness, conscientiousness. That sounds like a great idea. Streams of conscientiousness. I'll need to look up the dictionary for what that one means. But another thing came to my attention from last week's NXT, and that is the brooding and there's quite a few very low card women involved in this War Games coming up. So you've got Team Shayna Baszler versus Team Candice LeRae. Okay, that on paper, Shayna Baszler no, not Shayna Baszler.
What are you talking
Shayna Baszler's on Raw. What's her name? Green hair lady. Shotzi Blackheart. Team Shotzi Blackheart versus Candice LeRae for War Games. I like it. It's just it's the people who beef up the sides. It's like you're talking about jobbers, not so much jobbers, but women who don't exactly merit to be involved in the War Games. But that's actually not the point that I wanted to bring to you in this extra snippet of Clive's 205 Clive's conscientiousness streams. Last week we had a tag team match between Candice LeRae and someone, probably Indy Hartwell or Debbie Salt. Text me if you know what I mean by saying Debbie Salt. Candice LeRae and Debbie Salt versus Caden Carter. Now, if you're paying attention, you'll notice that Katie Catanzaro and Caden Carter have the same initials, K and C. So they should form a tag team if they were ever promoted to the main roster. That tag team name should be KC and the Sunshine Band because of the KC connection. Or call them Casey Kasem, and they could sit and do Shaggy Rogers impressions as promos, or do top 40s with lovely Christmas jumpers in the middle of July. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that I will regret that I recorded these under the influence of alcohol, but I'm sure that people listening will get a wee cheeky pop, and you never know. Things like these things, if I add a wee 2-3 minutes here or there every week, it's something to look forward to. And you never know if it comes to the point where I'm stuck for content one week and I've recorded enough of these, I'll just put them all together. And you've got a wee half hour of power. That's right, a half hour of power where I've just talked shite for 5 minutes, 6 times, and you've got enough content there for a weekly podcast. It's something to consider going forward. Don't tell Ricky that I'm considering just sacking him entirely. But, Ricky, you're fired. No chance. No chance in heck.
Who did you send this to?
I did a sound voice recorder app on my phone. Just your the one that's already on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Just that one. So you can tell, obviously, that was the second recording that night, but what a load of shite that was.
It really was.
Do you agree with everything I said?
Can't believe I get sacked.
I know. You weren't supposed to find out either. Right, back to Survivor Series. I hope before I ask that, before we go, I've got a question for you. What's been your favourite MJF performance so far?
Is this like a... Am I setting you up for a joke in terms of what we were talking about earlier?
Uh-huh.
I don't have one.
Mine's just Back to the Future 2.
Michael J. Fox.
A great guy. He's a draw. He's definitely a draw. Right.
The draw.
Uh-huh. He is. He's coming. He's going to sue Sammy Callahan because it's Michael J. Fox is the draw.
Shout out to Caleb.
Shout out to Between the Ropes as well. Survivor Series tag match. Excellent.
Yep.
Very enjoyable.
Sorry, it was outside of Roman and Drew. This was a match I was most looking forward to. I really enjoyed it. I don't really have an issue that Big E was involved as well, like just in the sense that like he was interacting with Kofi and Xavier Woods. That part I didn't really mind. The overall match, let's say, is I felt it was really good.
It was.
Kofi doing that boom trifecta drop or boom drop trifecta, whatever it's called, always quite cool. And Montez doing Trouble in Paradise.
Yes.
Or attempting it. I really enjoyed it. Like, I felt it was like awesome tag team wrestling, and certainly delivered from what I was expecting from it anyway. And this is kind of, it comes back to the point where I was saying that, like, just because there's nothing really at stake doesn't mean you can't enjoy it when it's a good match. So if this was a bad match, I'd probably sit there like, wow, underwhelmed and what was the point in it kind of thing. But because it was a good match, you kind of forget there's nothing really at stake.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, these teams probably won't have any kind of interactions going forward now. Like, they're hardly going to cross paths anytime soon again. But like, I felt that we knew they would win.
So did I, actually.
So it was kind of nice for him to see the Street Profits going over and getting the win. Kind of just, that's a big win at the end of the day. Just when you're on a beat the New Day. So that says it was a real fun match. I thought the pacing was really good as well. Some nice spots, like stuff that just didn't seem like, nothing felt unnecessary.
Yep.
Like, I like Montez's like frog splashes. So that says I felt it was a good match overall. I didn't really get the New Day's entrance. I mean, to you, I didn't really understand the concept of it. I'm sure it was some sort of fucking superhero nonsense.
It's you won't have played the Gears of War games then?
Nope.
Xbox Gears of War games, and they've been added as downloadable content for it.
Right.
I've not played all of the Gears of War games. I've played the first.
Oh, that's pretty cool. They knew they have been added out.
Yep. So Batista's in it as a character
cool.
with his voice, but it's the actual New Day are in his characters, so that's quite cool.
That's pretty cool.
So the costumes were pretty badass, to coin a phrase. I enjoyed that. That was good to see, and that helped with Big E being there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Two things with this one. I think it's safe to say that Street Profits moved up to the main roster off the back of Montez Ford and his work, because for several years, Angelo Dawkins was just stuck there dwindling away, and he made it into the Street Profits and everything worked out well for him. But I think he's one of those rare occurrences where they improve exponentially on the main roster. I think Angelo Dawkins more than holds his own on the main roster now, both in terms of promo confidence and just general work rate, if you're into that sort of stuff. I think Angelo, I wouldn't say, I think it is safe to say that Montez Ford, you could strap a rocket to him, but Angelo Dawkins wouldn't suffer if such a tag team was to break up, a la Tucker, a la Big Cass type thing. The other thing I was going to say, this isn't really a commentary on the match, but Cash Wheeler had tweeted out Newsday Street Profits, thank you, with much love to it. And some guy tweeted underneath him, what, you still watch WWE? It's like, for God's sake, pal.
I like to watch good wrestling, mate.
Uh-huh.
I like to see my friends do well. Counterpoint to what you're saying about Angelo Dawkins, I think he would suffer badly if they broke up.
Really?
I think so. I think Montez Ford is like the guy out of that group. I feel like if they were to have a break-up, like Montez Ford could really do stuff as a singles guy, but I'm not wanting them to break up. I'm not saying that we are advocating for that. I hate when people get into their idea into their head, like, we should split this tag team up and have them go on a singles run. It's like, let's not do that. Like, let's not mess with a good thing. And that's what I love with the fact that we've not done. Kind of done it, I suppose, in New Day, letting Big E go on a singles run, but for years, a lot of people were clamouring that it's time to break them up, kind of thing. So let's not. I don't want to do that. I like them as a tag team. Let's keep them going in this tag team. Let's give them more credible opponents.
Aye, they need to keep them together.
If they ever were going to do it, like give any of them a singles run, obviously going to Montez Ford, but you could do it in the way you've done it with the New Day. Kofi gets a run, but Ian, Xavier Woods are still heavily involved in the running and everything else. I know it worked out better because they could focus as a tag team, and Kofi was doing his thing as a singles guy, but they were still a trio. But you could easily have something along the lines like Montez Ford chasing a title and Angelo Dawkins kind of having his back along the way, and then being involved in some random tag match along the way. But I wouldn't want them to break up. I think they're a very, very good tag team.
Yes, and I think if they want to have any semblance of a tag team division,
yes,
they need to stay together.
Yep.
So next up, we're all over the place with the order tonight, but the penultimate match we'll be talking about is Sasha Banks versus Asuka, and I was right in thinking that Sasha would get the win here, and it actually was part of the narrative. Michael Cole and co were talking about Sasha hasn't actually scored a pinfall over Asuka at all. And I just think with the wave of momentum that Sasha Banks has been riding versus Asuka's very commendable 2020, but she's just been on the back burner for a while, which is fine. The momentum was all on Sasha's side, and I enjoyed the finish. It kind of came out of nowhere, a wee bit like Darby Allin's win over Cody Rhodes a few weeks ago. So
I like those kind of finishes if they're done right.
Aye, if they're done right, and I think this was done right. It was just another. These two women have good chemistry together. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the things that people were saying negatively about the match. It was like, we saw this match like a million times during the summer, and that's true, we have, but like they were all good matches, and this was another good match. So, why would we get tired of watching a good match? I know we might want to see like a wee change here now and then, but this is always going to be a good match, and it's not like they're going to cross paths again anytime soon. I liked a lot of the transitions they'd done, like when it came to like trying to get each other into submission moves and reversing, etc. Even when Sasha finally got the bank statement on her, but Asuka like got to ropes with an ankle lock involved in it as well. Even there was like a moment where it looked like they were about to be both counted out as well, which was quite close.
That was. I'm not a big fan of that trope. They do the 9 3/4 count too often for my liking, and it's just a groan when I see it. But this time I did actually think, oh, hold on a minute, in an attempt to make them both look strong.
And I know we're not a fan of that, but that certainly would have worked when neither of them takes a pinfall. And like you said, I like the finish as well, just the fact that I like that getting a quick 1, 2, 3, just kind of like in the midst of transitioning and making attempts to apply moves to each other. Like I like that sometimes it can come out of nowhere, and you pick up the win. So like I say, this was another good match. I wasn't expecting anything less, to be honest. I always knew this was going to be a good match. But they've proven that during the summer months, and again, they've done it once again. So yeah, like I say, it's another this was the third match for the night that kind of delivered. But I don't have any issues with this match or the outcome and how it played out at all.
Another pair who've shown good chemistry with each other, especially in the springtime last year. Right, it's coming up for the end of the year, so that's usually when you start getting your match of the year contenders, among other awards. between them, Roman Reigns not so much, not so many, understandably, but between Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, they could fill a top 10 for Match of the Year contenders all by themselves. And they came together and put on an absolute belter of a match. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this was really good. I guess my only ever so slight grievance about the match was, and I think I said it last week, that I hope they don't have Roman on the ropes and the Bears are potentially losing, and then all of a sudden Drew gets distracted and Roman takes advantage. And when he did do that, with the Claymore and then Roman knocking the ref out and Jey Uso coming down, Roman landed like that. I felt we could have maybe done that slightly differently, but I think I'm really, really nitpicking here. Overall, really, really like the match. Like, I absolutely love listening to Roman during the matches when he's talking. Like, that's one of the, like we've said it before, one of the best things of not having fans.
Calling him number two.
This is really, really, really good. I like that. And even when he hit him with a spear, you can see him turn around to Samoa Joe, who's like, you know what this feels like, kind of thing.
See when he hit the spear and Drew countered it?
Yep.
Oh, beautiful.
Like that little sequence, you know, there's that moment there where there's so many close pinfalls in the space of a couple of minutes, and it was like, you know, it really had you on the edge of your seat, and really had, and that's what I'm saying, like, about a really, really good match, that you just kind of forget sometimes that there's nothing really involved other than, like, that you're actually investing. You're like, no, I need this guy to win, kind of thing. And even the finish made sense. I know the finish was kind of like, we've done it before. Roman choking out Jey Uso, and then they've done it here again. Like, so Drew never actually taps; he just, you know, refuses to give up, and he obviously passes out. And even at the thing at the end, you know, where Roman sees Jey, and probably initially thinking like, I told you to go and you've disobeyed an order. But then you could see it in his face and his expression, his demeanour, that he was like, he came round to it. It was like, no, like,
I needed you.
I needed you. It was good to have you here. Like, you had my back. You know, like, you've proven your loyalty to me. And then, like, as he embraced him as well. And I don't know if you notice, and I probably doesn't mean anything, I guess, in the long term. But like at one point when Roman was holding the belt up and he had his arm around Jey, like, Jey never took his eyes off that belt. And I don't know if it was on the ramp. I don't know if that means anything. Maybe we read too much into it. But like, he never took his eyes off it. He was just staring at it for a good, like, 10, 15 seconds.
I think that's an outsider for a Royal Rumble win.
I'm not sure, because I kind of have a feeling that if they are going to go Rock and Roman, they're most likely going to be a Raw winner.
I don't think they need the title for Rock and Roman at all.
But Roman needs to drop the title to someone big. I don't mean it should be to Rock. I don't mean like that. I just mean like Roman losing it is a big, big moment. And maybe they will take a title off Roman, but if they're going to go Roman Rock. But we shall see. I don't even know what Royal Rumble is going to be. But it's like one of those where you kind of want fans to be there for that moment. And I don't know who's primed and ready right now to take the title off him.
No one yet.
I don't think so. Maybe you could build somebody like Big E up, obviously, because you still, if it's going to be a Royal Rumble, you've still got, you know, like 7 or 8 weeks.
Aye, it's plenty of time, because Drew didn't start getting built up till December, so there is time. I personally could have done without the Jey Uso interference. I think Drew put in enough of a shift that if he lost clean, it wouldn't have. It's like, he would have looked strong in victory, because he put in a shift and a half again on pay-per-view. Like, see, consecutive, everyone apart for the Brock Lesnar one, he's put on a banger of a match. That is some record.
Even if you wanted, you could have had, like, Drew hit the Claymore and Roman knocks the ref out, but they're both sort of out of it. And then as they're both kind of coming to their feet, suddenly Roman gets them into the triangle or whatever chokehold he wants to put them in. You could have done something like that. So I do agree with Jey Uso, but it also made sense that Jey Uso disobeyed Roman, and then suddenly Roman realising, oh no, I need you, thank you. Like I said, you've shown your worth to me. So, like I say, the match itself was great. And even I know you're saying about the Brock match. The Brock match was like less than 5 minutes, but like all those Brock matches are the same and they're somewhat entertaining, even though you kind of have an idea what's going to happen. But it was still such a big moment. So, yeah, man, this match was awesome. It's definitely up there for a WWE Match of the Year candidate. Probably it isn't going to be my match of the year when it comes to WWE in general, but like I think if you take NXT out of the equation, this one's going to be right up there, if not the best.
I think
there's a few out there that could probably rival it right enough on the main roster.
Oh, I would add in quite a few Drew's matches, but it's going to take something super special to beat Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles for me.
Yeah, the Intercontinental. Yep.
That was a wild encounter. So that was I think that's another win in WWE's column for pay-per-views. Nothing this year has been absolutely outstanding, but they've all been like above average enough for you to say that was good. Left satisfied, if that makes sense. Apart from the ending for the Extreme Rules, because that was that fucking Bray Wyatt fella that you're so in love with. So
that was awesome.
Aye. Right. Before I quiz you, do you want some more snippets from my...
Go on.
Right, so we're going backwards with this, right, so here we go.
So this is an idea that has been brainstormed off the back of a few glasses of Prosecco, a Brewdog IPA and some gin and tonic. Now, it's in its infancy. It's in an embryonic state, but I thought maybe now and again I would record some solo audio to help beef up the show, give it a wee bit of a flavour, you know what I mean? So this is my thought for this week. This segment is going to be called Clive's Weekly Stream of Consciousness.
Oh God.
Now, what will I talk about? I'll talk about how surprised I am by Leon Ruff and how well he was presented this week, or last week on NXT. I thought that was quite good, I'll be honest with you. When I saw that Leon Ruff, is that his name? Sounds too much like Leo Rush, doesn't it? But when Leon Ruff won the North American Championship, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go. Road Dogg booking slapped into your face, but it's here, it's happened. It's kind of furthering the story between Damien Priest and Johnny Gargano. Fair enough. But I personally believe, and paedophilia aside, there is a prestige about that North American title that's a mid-card workers title. Many takeovers have had great matches as a result of it. And then you had Leon Ruff winning the North American title a couple of weeks ago. Fuck that. But last week, a multi-segmented story arc. Leon Ruff showed some balls. Leon Ruff showed some acumen in the ring that we weren't aware of before. Leon Ruff showed some pride in himself, not wanting to be a caricature or a joke or a piggy in the middle between Damien Priest and Johnny Gargano. And do you know what? see for someone who weighs 112 pounds soaking wet, and for someone who's got royalty-free music as his entrance music, I was sold by the story he told. The slapping in Damien Priest's face, the coming back down later on to get involved or in this tramash between Gargano and Damien Priest, him standing up for himself and saying, do you know what, William Regal, this had to be done, to the point where with War Games approaching, I think we're going to get some sort of triple threat on the cards. Leon Ruff has been, you know what Leon Ruff is? Jobber of the year. COVID came around, people were homesick, people were home isolating, people were home staying away from it all, and Leon Ruff came to the fore. Leon Ruff said, I'll eat some pins. I'll eat pins on 205, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I'll eat all the pins. And look what's happened. He's ended up getting himself a nice wee a North American title run that's lasted more than 1 week, which I was personally surprised at. It's going to be at least 2 or 3 weeks. Leon Ruff has inserted himself into a storyline between two very popular figures in NXT. Can't argue that. And do you know what? It's worked out well. I still don't agree with Leon Ruff being inserted in all this. I mean, you've got a great mid-card section there, but it is what it is, and I think they're doing all right. So Leon Ruff, congratulations.
I think your second tweet, or the first recording you done, which was actually later on, you're actually more drunker than that one. Yeah, here.
Aye, I think more gin and prosecco had been taken at that point, and the stream of conscientiousness was a bit more. But I quite enjoyed how articulate I was there. I think I prefer that version of me in this podcast.
The drunk version. Just getting drunk every single Tuesday or Wednesday and we're called.
I think I come across more knowledgeable and stuff.
Yeah, I think you're too hard on yourself anyway. So.
Oh, I'm always too hard on myself. That's my gimmick. Right, you ready for your quiz?
Let's do it. Let's see what I know.
Right, so I've got 10 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 17 points up for grabs.
Yes.
So, what is Commissioner Gordon's name in the Batman world? What is Commissioner Gordon's name? His first name?
Which Batman? All of them? Is he in all of them?
He's in the comics. So he's a regular feature in Batman stories.
I know who plays him.
No, it's just
it's Gary Oldman, isn't it?
Right, but that's the.
I know, but I know that. I'm just saying that's who plays the character.
I
have no idea.
Just first name that comes into your head.
Mark.
James.
Right.
What did you call me? Right. Commissioner Jim Gordon's daughter, Barbara, became a superhero. What is her superhero name?
Wait.
I'm waiting.
I watched this one.
Did you?
I don't know. I feel like in one of them, the one with Christian Bale that I've watched, I feel like she was in it.
It's not.
Am I talking rubbish here?
Yes. It's not.
Right, okay.
It's not that you're thinking of Catwoman. She was a villain, so a female superhero, as in.
Wait, so Commissioner Gordon. So just by guessing, Commissioner Gordon was in the Batman comics, so she became Batgirl.
Yes.
Woo! That's me done.
You're happy?
Happy with that.
In the chronology of the Marvel films, right, so not when they were released, but when they happened in the timeline, what came after Guardians of the Galaxy? Do you want triple choice? Multiple choice?
Okay. Just give me the year.
I don't know the year. I'm talking about the timeline within the universe. So what was the next story?
So not the film? Or what was the next? Oh, fuck. What question is that?
Do you want 3 choices?
Yes.
Right. Avengers 2, Civil War, or Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 seems too obvious. What was the other one? Civil War and Wales?
Civil War and Avengers 2.
We'll go Civil War.
It was Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I'm afraid.
Oh, for crying out loud, of course it was. It just felt too obvious.
And staying with the timeline,
God.
not so much actually. Who was the first sort of woman superhero who had their own film in the Marvel films? It's a fairly recent film.
Do you need the name of the film or the superhero?
They're one and the same.
So one with Brie Larson.
Right.
I don't know who it is.
I'll give you the point because it was Brie Larson, it was Captain Marvel.
I would never have got that.
But I'll give you the point because you knew the actress. Now, Captain Marvel took place in the 1990s. So, in terms of the whole story of the Marvel films, does this take place first, second or third in terms of film chronology?
I mean, that's second.
Correct. 1, 2, 3 so far. What is the name of Superman's dad?
Henry which dad?
The actual dad in the comics. The name of the dad. So Superman's name is actually Kal-El. What is his dad's name?
Oh, Russell Crowe. Jor-El.
Pronunciation aside, I'll give you it. Well done. I would have given you a bonus point for Kevin Costner. 4 right so far. Name the actor who played the Superman in The Adventures of Superman that used to be on BBC back in the day when we were kids, alongside Terry Thatcher.
No.
Nah, not interested in that question, are you?
No, I legit have no idea.
Okay, I'll give you a clue. First name is someone who belongs in the Shield, and the second name is someone who is a brother of destruction.
Someone who belongs in the Shield, did you say?
Who was in the Shield, and the second name is someone who is a brother of destruction.
Dean Undertaker. No idea.
Well, say a surname that actually sounds like a name and not a profession.
Kane.
There we go, Dean Cain. Congratulations.
I have no idea who that is.
Greatest Superman there's been, and I won't hear that.
No, I mean Henry Cavill or Cavill, one of the word. That's the only Superman I've watched.
There have been 2 people who have played the Incredible Hulk in the Marvel films. Who are they? This is a 2-pointer. So the actors' names. Do you know what? I'll give you 1 point.
I know one of them.
Right, just go for one then. Tell me one.
Oh wait, no, that's his actual name, is it not? Is the Hulk's name Eric Banner?
Uh-huh.
I've not got a clue then.
Mark Ruffalo and Ed Norton.
I would never have thought that.
Right. Who had a cameo in every Marvel film that was filmed up until Avengers Endgame?
And everyone.
Uh-huh. And it was literally 5 seconds in each film. You might kick yourself with this one.
Oh, it was Stan Lee.
That's it. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? If you get...
Bear in mind, like, 4 of those have just been absolute guesses.
Mm-hmm. Including the one that is to be released, and by my calculations there have been 7 different actors who have played Batman. Name them.
Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Affleck.
Yep.
Ben Affleck's still Batman, isn't he? Or is he not?
I don't think so. There's someone else that's going to do the next Batman film.
Val Kilmer done it.
That's 3.
Is it Robert Pattinson or Pattinson or something?
4. You've got 4. You've only got 3 left. You can do it.
No, I can't, because that's the only ones I know.
None from the 90s that you can remember?
No.
Well, you gave me Val Kilmer, didn't you? Right. So you're just sticking with... How about if I tell you... If you tell me who the OG Batman was on TV...
When you say TV...
Like he had a...
What year are we talking?
Oh, 60s.
Nah.
The first man in the Bible and a compass direction.
Adam... No.
Oh, fuck no, that's Kanye's Next Child.
East, South, West,
There
Adam
we go.
West.
Adam West. There we go. You get 5.
Nah, I won't take that because I've not got a clue who that is.
Oh, you'd know him if you saw him. Anyway, 4 out of 7. The others were Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale.
George Clooney?
Aye. Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and Rob Pattinson. You got 10 out of 17. That's impressive.
Was that the quiz done?
Aye.
That was alright, actually.
Mm-hmm. It was. Right, I've got an apology to make.
Oh, good.
It's not for you.
Oh, damn it.
Wait, where is it?
Oh no, it's not another drunken voice note, is it?
No, this was sent to my phone the 19th of November at 20 past midnight or 20 past 6 in Oklahoma.
Yes.
You mentioned every podcast except mine this week, you prick. So...
Did you miss it out?
Apparently I did. So, ladies and gents, do not forget to listen to Grave Consequences, the best Lucha Underground retrospective podcast in all of audio in the land.
I'm going to text him right now.
Only at socialsuplex.com and the Social Suplex Podcast Network, where you can find other shows such as One Nation Radio, Keeping It Strong Style, Grown Men Watch This Shit, Great Match Generator, I'm going to mention it again, Grave Consequences, All Things Elite, and 8-Bit Suplex Podcast. We're, as I said there, we're at socialsuplex.com. But if you go to applepodcasts.com and go to the Social Suplex page and give us a nice 5-star review, help us climb the charts. Head over to the donate page. You'll see information about donating to the shows direct to help us fund our hobby and fund our lives. Go to prowrestlingtees.net and you'll find some Social Suplex t-shirts if you type Social Suplex in. We've got columns at the website, and if you want you can send them directly to your email inbox by pressing subscribe. Anyone interested, my wrestlingheadlines.com/lordsofpain.com column scheduled for this week has been delayed. I started working from home this week and it has been quite the demand of my time and mind, so I've not got a column this week. It's going to be delayed in case anyone's waiting. Wrestling Squared Circle is a Facebook group where you can find us all, and we are at Ricky and Clive on Twitter. So, Grave Consequences, do not forget, because I'd like to not wake up in the morning to some sooner calling me a prick.
So, I just want to say, you've just insulted him again.
How?
Because he's not a Sooner. He's a cowboy. Caleb will know exactly what I mean by that.
Oh, is this he supports a different team?
Yes. Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Sorry for your loss, Caleb. I don't know how good they are, but sorry for your loss.
Fucking terrible.
Well, the sooner you support another team, the better.
Poor Caleb. Cops it all the time from us.
He called me a prick. He's not getting away with that.
I mean, let me quickly see what some of the stuff he sends me.
Aye, give us a wee minute if your time.
Hold on.
This is Caleb Watch.
Let me see. He just randomly texts me on Saturday, 14th of November, 9:15 at night. Go off.
Go off, Tiss. Around the time of the election, we started talking about Joe Jorgensen.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, do people call her... Eh?
He said, I was talking to him about that as well.
He said, do people call her Jojo? And he said, some, but I don't think she really cares for that. And I said, Bray Wyatt does though. And he said, outkicked his coverage, the fat fuck.
He texted me asking for your number. He was like, what is that bitch Clive's WhatsApp info? Sis. Oh, I love this guy.
Go off, Tiss. Which is apparently a rotisserie chicken salad.
Wait, one more. Let me see. What have I woken up to before in the past? He once texted me saying, keep this up and I'll cuck you, pal.
Oh, that boy. Right, well, we call it quits for this evening.
Yep. Shout out to Caleb.
Shout out to the best Oklahoma Sooner there's ever been, Billy Goldberg. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, Bill. Rest in peace. Right. Speak to you next week.
Take care, folks.
Thank you for listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.